¿Qué tal? Muy buenas, queridos seguidores. Bienvenidos a KOlmenero, el lugar donde las MMA se convierten en una forma de vida. Como ya sabréis, las artes marciales mixtas están creciendo de una manera estratosférica en nuestro país. El nivel está avanzando mucho, gracias, por supuesto, entre otros factores, a los luchadores que tenemos actualmente dando batalla en la UFC. Pero yo siempre he sido un gran defensor de que las MMA no son solo la UFC, que existe vida más allá de la UFC. Por eso, desde este humilde canal siempre he querido crear contenido, traeros contenido que sea interesante para que los aficionados españoles sigan adquiriendo nuevos conocimientos o tengan información relacionada con nuestro país. Por eso mismo he querido entrevistar a Mohammed Shahid. Él es luchador, fue el primer luchador profesional de artes marciales mixtas nacido en Baréin. Actualmente es el presidente de la Federación Nacional de Baréin de MMA, que como ya sabréis va sobre todo enfocada en el campo amateur, y sobre todo es presidente de Previsto, una compañía que ha irrumpido, que ha surgido desde 2017 para tratar, como él nos contará, de cambiar el mundo de las artes marciales mixtas. Es la mano derecha del Príncipe de Baréin y es una persona que está luchando por expandir su compañía, por expandir Brave a lo largo del planeta. Pero sobre todo nos interesa mucho la parte en la cual va a hablar de España. Sí, ya lo habéis leído en el título, así que os lo anticipo. Brave quiere hacer un evento en 2023 en España, pero nos lo contará luego a lo largo de la entrevista. De momento, lo primero, lo que más me interesa, ¿cuándo dio el paso, cuándo decidió colgar los guantes para meterse en las oficinas y empezar a capitanear este proyecto que es Brave?
Yeah, good. Because I was always doing the office job, because when I did my gym, I knew the importance of building a structure around sports. You're a fighter, you have to think of yourself as a businessman. You know, you are the product, you are the brand. And that's why we see the difference between where Cristiano Ronaldo is in football today and other athletes. Yeah. You might have the skill, but he decided at the age of 18, my first salary, I will bring a PR manager, I will bring a marketing manager, I will bring a physiotherapist. But young kids these days don't think about it of themselves as a business, and they want to enjoy with the money. And that's a decision I made from a childhood, that I always looked at how to build a structure around it, a corporate business around it. And I had this idea of how to change the MMA world at a national level or at a state level. But when I met His Highness, I knew that we could do it at a global level. The whole world of MMA can be changed. But 2013 and 14, when I met His Highness, I knew that from what my little thought about myself, now I have to think about the 200,000 MMA fighters that's out there, you know, so my plan has to be bigger. So I presented His Highness the plan. He said, this is my vision. Give me a presentation. Let's put up a plan together. When I put that up, 2015, I made my last fight, but I started working 2013 onwards on this project. But 2015, I did my last fight. Anyways, I had so much injuries, multiple dislocations on my shoulders and, injuries, because you train by yourself, you overtrain, you don't have coaches to guide you. So this is the result, But 2015, I quit my fighting. That was my last fight. And I decided that now it's time to be of service to the rest of the MMA world, and this is what I love to do.
Sin duda alguna, gracias al apoyo del Príncipe de Baréin, el equipo nacional de ese país está logrando y está cosechando unos éxitos abismales en el campo amateur. Por eso mismo me interesaba preguntarle por el equipo nacional de Baréin, ¿qué opina de esa progresión, de esa evolución y qué proyectos tiene?
The national team is a big part for us. We tell the national team that you are not just a team of X amount of fighters, 10, 15 fighters that are going and bringing gold medal. That is not the only reason you are a national team. You are the pillar of the future of MMA in the country, because whatever you achieve, what is not the only medals, but also being here in Bahrain, training, winning, having the mentality and living that lifestyle as a #1 team in the world or to win gold medal, the next generation will change their mindset, and we will have so much more different youth with the right mindset. So they have a bigger responsibility, so they know it. The national team knows that they are game changers. They are part of His Highness Sheikh Khalid's vision. And that's why you see them working really hard. And today, to be the #1 amateur team in the world makes a lot of sense, to why we have been competing, why we have been achieving. it's not just because of great fighters, but don't get me wrong, they're amazing fighters, 100%, one of the best in the world. But apart from that, they know what's around them, and they know that their role is bigger than just winning gold medals. They know that they're part of a vision of His Highness Sheikh Khalid. So they know that it's a bigger picture, and they will be always part of this legacy of how MMA has changed in the next 5-10 years. They will be part of that legacy. So I think this is a great motivation for them. So every time they compete, our team competes, our team is always going there to become number one, you know.
Por supuesto, como se avanzaba, el Príncipe de Baréin ha tenido mucho que ver en ese impulso, en ese apoyo desde económico hasta deportivo. Pues él también es fiel aficionado a las artes marciales mixtas e incluso ha sido boxeador. Pero quería saber de primera mano qué importancia ha tenido, qué papel protagonista toma el Príncipe de Baréin en las artes marciales mixtas de ese país.
I'm a MMA fan since birth, I would say, you know, since I was born. And I always say that we have to always pray that, thank God, His Highness liked MMA and not any other sport, you know. I mean, he loves all the sports, but thank God he loved MMA more, you know. Imagine he liked tennis, you know. We wouldn't have. So I always say that we have to be happy that he loved MMA, because he's not going to be only about the development of MMA in Bahrain. If you look at 10 years back from today, 10 years back, you will have not seen MMA in Middle East. You'll see events, there are smaller events, but you don't see anything happening in this region when it comes to combat sports. We never understood why. We thought it was maybe our culture. We don't want our children, the mothers never allow their children to go and compete in combat sports or fight or punch each other, let alone fight in a cage. So we thought it was a cultural thing. But the problem was we didn't have that figure, the face of combat sports, until His Highness Sheikh Khalid. He became the face, but it was risky for a prince to put his face into combat sports, because you have other sports, you have more elegant sports like horse riding, tennis, golf, you know, there's so many sports out there. Why did you choose MMA where you have half-naked men fighting in a cage, you know? So, but he took that risk. That's what, for him, it was that I love the sport and I want to change the sport in the world.
Brave es una compañía que dice que ha llegado para cambiar las cosas, que quiere revolucionar el panorama internacional de las MMA. Pero le quería preguntar, ¿en qué se diferencia Brave del resto?
I say that it's not about the region. His Highness is a part of changing mixed martial art around the world, and we will see that. That's what Brave is here for. So Brave Combat Federation is founded by His Highness to change MMA in the whole world, which is why we are 26 countries. We have traveled to 26 countries in 5 continents, and that the reason why is we want to bring a new concept, a new model, a new change into mixed martial art, and make mixed martial art in the same level as football and FIFA. You know, that's our goal. If we cannot achieve that, we will always be an event. Whether you have Khabib and Conor fight, or you have Shakira and Beyonce fight, it's the same thing. Ticket sales, sponsorship, you know, it's an event business. But sports business is when we can have a Lionel Messi in mixed martial art, not marketable like Cristiano, doesn't speak English language, but doesn't matter. Your talent will take you up. Today, if you cannot speak English, you cannot be an MMA fighter. You cannot be famous. Today, YouTubers can make more than combat sports fighters. This is the challenge, and we need to change the system. I want to make MMA same like football, and that's the vision of His Highness.
Viendo que tienen un proyecto muy, pero que muy ambicioso, le tenía que preguntar cuáles son los siguientes objetivos para Brave.
In the past 5 years, including the 2 COVID years, we didn't stop traveling around the world. Nobody has become more global than us. And the goal why we did that, Álvaro, was that we want to go to every single country. And people said, you know what? You look at every other promotion outside of UFC, they like to stay in one place. Why? It's easier, less cost, and more better for business, because people will know, they will buy tickets, you know, you'll catch one market. And we said, we are not businessmen. We are here to lead a change in MMA. We are leaders, not businessmen. So when you're leaders, you will sacrifice. You will sacrifice money, you will sacrifice family, you might sacrifice many things. So we are sacrificing that, but we traveled around the world during the COVID year 2020 and 2021. Nobody has traveled in Europe in more countries than Brave Combat Federation. But we did all this because for 5 years, we are new. We introduced ourselves, we want to introduce our vision. You cannot do it alone. If anybody thinks that their company is multi-billion-dollar company, or you have a nation with you, or you are the richest man in the world, we are not bigger than a sport. The sport is too big for one man or one company or one nation to control. It doesn't work that way. But MMA is controlled by one nation or one brand. That means they're making the sport small. They're not reaching its true potential. So for us, we know that the only way you can make MMA like the FIFA structure, where you have the FIFA, you have the CONCACAF, UEFA, AFCs, and then under that you have the La Ligas, Bundesligas, Serie A, Premier Leagues, this structure, and then you have the clubs, Barcelona, Real Madrid, Sevilla, Atletico. This structure where private sectors are involved, the athletes have an academy to clubs, to glory, national team, the whole structure, A to Z. If you have the talent, you will have the opportunity and infrastructure, but build that, you cannot do it alone. So we are traveling around the world and we will unite everyone together.
A mí, desde esta humilde trinchera, me interesa mucho que las grandes compañías empiecen a pensar en España de una vez. Por eso había que preguntarle, Mohammed Shahid, ¿qué planes tenéis para España?
100%. Spain is one of the countries that I've always have been planning. I mean, it's not new. I have been planning for Spain, I think, since 2019. And I wanted to bring MMA to Spain in 2019, but then we were working on it, and then COVID hit 2021, and now we are still looking at Spain. My head is always there in Spain, and making sure that we need to bring Brave there. And I don't care about the market. I've seen many people tell me that it's a small market, but I always tell them that, listen, in Middle East we didn't have a market, but until something comes in, until we bring the big boys in, until we bring a plan, until we bring a sector, it changes, So, but if we bring an event, it will not change anything. But if we bring Brave, which is not an event, which is a national project, then we will have everybody's interest, because now you're bringing investment opportunities, you're bringing bilateral relationships, you're bringing the world to Spain, you're creating a new sports economy through MMA, where you can see so it's going to be different, so that meant you're establishing a project. So I think once that comes in, definitely there's going to be an opportunity there, and we don't, the market will grow immediately. And of course, support like media platforms like yourself is crucial to send the message, what we are speaking about. And if this message is reached to the people, they know that they are in the right hands. So Spain, 100%, it's our plan. And I can promise you that 2023, you will have a Brave Combat Federation in Spain. This is 100%.
Viendo todos los proyectos que tiene en Europa, me interesaba saber si ya de manera inmediata piensan incorporar a luchadores españoles dentro de su roster.
Oh, yes, 100%. So what we are looking for now, at this stage, as we are talking, what we are working currently is to see how we can add value to the Spanish-speaking fighters. This is one of my most important things, because if you look at the history of Brave, we know a strategy on how to make superstars faster than any other promotion in the world. There are promotions, they say they are the biggest promotions, but they take 9 years to make a star if he doesn't speak English. And I don't think that's fair, We have that plan. We want to make sure that when we start our scouting program for Spanish fighters, we want to make sure that they get the value from us, and we can promote them and we can take them to the highest level. Like Ilya, we have to have so many more fighters from Spain, but definitely we have that in plan. And you will see some Spanish fighters fighting in the upcoming events in Brave, for sure. Definitely the German event, you will see them.
Y para finalizar esta interesantísima charla, no quería pasar por alto un factor clave que diferencia a Brave de otras compañías, y es la categoría del peso super lightweight, del peso super ligero, que oscila entre los 73 y 74 kilos. Quería de su palabra que me contara qué importancia va a tener o tiene actualmente esta división para las artes marciales mixtas internacionales.
Yeah, this is a very interesting topic, because I hate everything about MMA business. I don't like the business model. I don't like how they market fights. I don't like the judging system. Everything is copied from somebody else, and we are not willing to change it. So we want to change everything. Why did we decide to make a small change today? Is to show that, see, people say, oh, you know what? Why don't you make weight classes different by measuring their weight, 10%, 20%. Nobody's doing this. This is people who are also saying that they're doing it. It's not really happening, because no one wants their events to have 20 fights canceled, and when they don't have it. So the priority of an event is to not cancel their fights. The fights should not be canceled, because that is their product. That's what they're selling to the television. So what do? The best thing you can do is increase the weight classes and separate the differences. So weight cut will happen. People will still cut weight. And this is going to be a process we have to keep working on developing. So the first step we took was, instead of making a weight cut policy, let's make sure that the fighters have a better weight to fight in.
Bueno, chicos, pues ya habéis visto, esta ha sido la interesante charla con Mohammed Shahid, el presidente de Brave y mano derecha del Príncipe de Baréin, que opina que en 2023, o asegura o promete directamente que en 2023 tendremos un evento de Brave en España, así que preparaos todos los luchadores nacionales, que si es así, finalmente creo que sería una oportunidad única, porque aparte de tener buenas bolsas, según tengo entendido, es uno de los saltos que han dado muchos peleadores, como Hamza Chimaev, por ejemplo, o Ilia Topuria, aunque no ha sido un salto directo, pero pasó por Brave, y acaban recalando en la UFC, que al final es el mayor objetivo. Con lo cual, si os ha gustado este contenido, si queréis que siga trayendo interesantes entrevistas a miembros y a protagonistas de gran peso en el panorama internacional, dejadme un like, suscribíos a KOlmenero, compartid con vuestros amigos y, si hace falta, con vuestros enemigos. Hasta pronto.